Hello everyone, it's Meg at She Through Tea, and I just felt like it was fitting to do a reintroduction video as I was pondering what to share on my channel, as I haven't uploaded to the public since last fall. And in the spirit of cyclical living, what I teach here is we go through different seasons of life. We shift, we change, we go through transitions, and we're initiated into something new. So I feel like there is so much more depth that I have gone through since last fall time. So it is wild. We are in the full spring of summertime, and just thinking about last summer, I was really in a space of like a deep depression, and it was just challenging. And I needed to go through that to really find more of this vitality and vigor that She Through Tea is now. So if you don't know me, I am Meg, and I am the devotee of She Through Tea. I like to call myself that because I feel that when the soul of a business comes to you, it is its own soul. It is its own movement, and I am the listener to that movement. I am the one that really shows up to listen and see, okay, this is my mission here, this is what She Through Tea is, how can I lean into that, how can I go beyond my comfort zone to show up and really provide what She Through Tea wants to provide. So I see myself as a devotee, as it really came from my own connection to my cycle and really wanting to so badly form a lifestyle that would support my cycle as a woman on a month-to-month basis. And it was so enlightening to be educated about my menstrual cycle and getting to know that, wow, we cycle through different phases throughout the month. So we're literally at a different energy level, and some might say we are many women all in a month. And I feel that the women that come into my work find such deep acceptance for the first time in their cycle, that they are more than just one energy. They are more than just what they do or produce. And I think in our society it has been so heavily pressed. There's been this pressure to go and go and go and go at the expense of our energy. And I have gotten so crystal clear that She Through Tea has communicated to me that it is for the women who are done with those cycles of depletion. They are done living in that rat race. They're done living in that hamster wheel of having to go, go, go. in order to survive. And I can speak directly from my own lineage that yes, they had to do that to survive. They had to cross the plains to survive. And it is my duty now, as I have been deeply studying and connecting to my own ancestry, that we get to be the ones that go against the grain. We get to be the ones that do it differently. We get to be the women that really take a stand for our womanhood, not just for us personally, yes, but for our communities, for our families, for our children. Like, this is so much bigger than just your own cycle. When we do womb work, womb healing, cyclical living, getting to know your own cycle, menstruation, not just menstruation, but periomenopause, menopause, and all of those cycles of life, birth, pregnancy, postpartum, they're all in the complete cycle of what a woman can go through. And so she through T is really that lifestyle that we get to lean into, that can support us to be deeply nourished, deeply fed, connected to the ways of nature as the main guide. And once we get to know our own cycle through the elements of the earth, according to the Chinese medicine theory, the 5 elemental theory, I utilize that so much in this work, as tea has really taught me as a medicine that we embody all of those elements inside of us. And especially as women, we embody those on a monthly basis and in the transitions of our lives, that we can lean into that support. We don't need to do it all alone, and nature's ways really guide us back to there is an abundance. There are resources available everywhere to really, I don't think tap into is a word, but really deepen into the knowledge of the ways of nature. It is an ongoing study, which is why She Through Tea is really a way of devotion. It's not something you just learn and you're like, oh, that was really great to learn. I learned so much, and maybe just taking in a few things. It's like She Through Tea is a blueprint and a guide for us as women to nourish every cycle of our life that we will ever go through. And the 5 elemental theory, Chinese medicine, is such a daily devotion to showing up as if we were meeting ourselves new for the first time. Because we are new, we are waking up to a different day. And it is a blessing to wake up to a new day. So it is really a place where we get to deepen into the transitions that might be more challenging, like the cycles of menstruation, that postpartum, like those cycles of death are what give life to the new cycle and season. So at She Through Tea, as a death doula, I have utilized my death doula training to work specifically with women to really accept and honor that they go through that death cycle every month, and finding acceptance. Because when we anchor into that devotion through all the seasons of life, it will be with so much more ease and grace that we go through the more turbulent seasons. And when grief arises, when somebody might pass away that we love, that we can see that in a way that is really life-giving, instead of getting consumed by grief. We then really see the gift in grief, because grief is a lifelong journey that we will always be going through. It's like the ocean, it's gonna ebb, it's gonna flow. We don't really know when grief will surface. So it is a practice in our monthly cycle that we can meet those cycles of grief as we, go down in the cycle. Our hormones drop. We're more in tune with our emotions and sensitivity, and that is a gift. This is really a place for women to get to know the gifts that they innately hold naturally as women, just being born into a body of woman with a womb. It is that direct connection to nature in our cycle. So this space is really for the women that want to anchor their gifts, anchor into their art, and know that they are here to create beauty. You are here to lead your lineage into a different trajectory that is a more beautiful way forward, that is sustaining your womanhood, that is sustaining your energy levels, and that you can overflow, be in overflow, that it's okay to be full with your life force. It's okay to be full with your love. It's okay to be full with your gifts. And it's okay to be seen in the medicine woman that you are. Because maybe in the past it wasn't safe to be seen in that. But now we have so many resources, and if you're watching this, just the fact that you have access to this, it means you have access to be educated. It means you have access to have the ability to be a resourced woman. Because when we are resourced internally and not seeking externally, we then become so full of life that we can give, that love we can extend, that peacefulness. We can come to our relationships in a different light and heal those deeper wounds in the lineage. And on a global level, there is so much happening, but honestly, like, we have so much access right now, like just that consumerism, but so many of us have got lost within that and have not been in tune with our own intuition. So She Through Tea has, for me and every woman that comes into this work, has been a pillar for our womanhood to return to the center, return to the womb as the center of our life. And when that happens, I don't have words for it because it is a feeling to be felt. It is something when you experience integrating this lifestyle into your life, you have the tools to deeply listen to your own inner guide. And for many of us, that hasn't been something in the years past that we have been able to do as women. So I've been really feeling into my own ancestry and the land and how it is really asking us to step forward in a new way. And if you're listening to this, it is our duty to step forward in a new way and move in a new way. Yes, we cycle through different patterns, traumas, re-experiencing that feeling in our body, and with that awareness, like, it is not all of ours. It is our ancestors. It is our global experience. And with that awareness, it is our responsibility to step forward and move in a new way. So I have been in deep study the last 3 years with the Way of Tea and deepening into Chinese medicine and also deepening into movement as medicine. As I've been really laying down the burdens that I feel heavy inside of me, moving to Hawaii and knowing that my own ancestry went through colonialism and being on a populated island that is colonized, it's really gotten me to get honest with, okay, where am I still in relationship to that way of the industrialism, and I've honestly gone through so many conflicting feelings around it. And in our day and age, on a global level, we are experiencing that on a global level, overtaking land and whatnot. And just a little pause for some watered down herbs. I just poured water over the herbs I already steeped, but I have been drinking herbal water rather than just plain water for the whole year, and it's honestly like changed my life. Like, I will not be drinking just plain water unless I don't have access to my hot water. But this is one of the secrets to feeling your optimal self, which we'll get more into later, but just wanted to pulse that in here and get back on the topic. So what I will be sharing more of is what I've been training in is the Guanjing method, which is a intersection of dance, qigong, and yoga. And it's a Chinese medicine-based form of movement that my teacher, Ting Ting, came up with through her own lineage and experience. And the moment that I saw her, I knew I needed to learn from her. And I've gone throughout my life kind of in this way of like really watching people, watching how people move, watching how people, their body language, and it really says so much about a person. And you can tell right away, like, how is their energy, what's going on, like what kind of person are they, through the way that they move, through the way that they speak, through the way that they dance and express. Another herbal elixir break. Okay, so to kind of wrap it all up, this is the new foundation that I'll be sharing here on my channel, is how to live in harmony with your cycle, with the seasons of nature, and how to actually move with your gifts. Because every single woman that has come through my online immersion, She Through the Way of Tea, which is where my business was birthed, I was so amazed at, like, from the beginning of She Through Tea, I felt this deep yearning after my grandpa died, after I transitioned a relationship. I was just deep in that portal of grief, and I knew that I needed to form a lifestyle that could hold me. I needed to form a lifestyle that could, where I could be in the acceptance of all the cycles I'm going through, and actually let that be the guide to my life, instead of putting my cycle on the back burner, putting my grief on the back burner. It didn't allow me to do that. I am such a feeler, and one of my gifts is really feeling the other side, the other realm. And I grew up in religion, but now I have formed my own connection to spirituality, and it is honestly a like going against the grain of what my ancestors might have done, and they've clearly told me, you need to do what we could not. And so I feel like my life has been so unconventional, and at times I really judged myself for that, but now it's a lot more, we're seeing a lot more change and shift, and now we're questioning, okay, what's actually true? Okay, we've been fed different lies, we've been fed different things that actually are poisoning us, so how can we return to our true essence? And in the past, I had trouble, like, what do I do? Like, I have so much that I offer that I know women who come into my work, they're also feeling like, well, I do this, I do this, I do this, and how do I, what do I do with all of it? And so that has been the gift of She Through Tea, is really being in devotion and relationship and harmony to our gifts, and being in integrity with where does this stem from, what is in my lineage, and how can I bring forward a different way that may have not been acceptable or may have not been something that they could do, but they've paved this way for me, so now I can show up in greater harmony. And no, we're not going to be perfect, and that is our human nature, so it's also like deep acceptance and a way of compassion to be like, wow, there's been so much destruction, and like, what do we do now that so much has been like uncovered, so much has been exposed, and now you get to choose a different way. So that, in a nutshell, is what we are showing up here to do. And I just want to invite the women here that are really feeling called to end those cycles of depletion in not only your life, but for all of life. It's asking us to come forward, and if you are ready to anchor into your gift through that ancestral connection and be in integrity with bringing your gifts forward, this is the place for you. And we are entering our 4th immersion this fall. I've actually called it a She Through Tea cohort because we're doing so much more. There's so much more available to us right now, as on the fall equinox, which was my last video that I did last year. I put a video out for fall equinox, so it just felt in alignment to share this now. We're preparing for fall equinox now to enter that She Through the Way of Tea online 6-week immersion, where you will have the space and support to learn how to move from that place of harmony in your cycle, so you can be of great impact in your communities as a medicine woman, and really own that and be in integrity with the land that is one of the key pieces here, and to be resourced. So if you're feeling that prayer, you can see the link below. And within that, in the end of the immersion, we have the opportunity to meet in person on Maui, Hawaii, and gather together for 5 days for a women's tea retreat. And this has been my vision from the very beginning of She Through Tea, is that we would be able to immerse in the land, and with each land that we're really going to, it is teaching us a different quality in our womanhood. So as Maui has that volcanic energy that is dormant, it is really calling us to be in that honoring of the grief, honoring of the burnout, honoring of those cycles that have depleted us, not only in this life, but in the past, and to create a new quality for our womanhood that is not about quantity, but is about intentional integrity with the land. So if you are feeling either of those, you can check the link out below, and I can't wait to welcome you in. There is a limited space for 8 women to join, as it's an intimate journey together. And I can't wait to meet you, be with you, and make the movement move. Aloha, everyone.